Hello everybody. Welcome to TCOM 408 Online. Dr. Mike Gerhard here, and you're watching Online Video 15. Hey, I hope that you're taking good care of yourself as we live through some very trying and challenging times in terms of our society. So please take care of yourselves right now. Okay, in this video I want to talk a little bit more about advertising techniques and stretching the truth, practicing deception in the world of advertising. Now, the most common form of deception that we see in the world of advertising is perfectly legal. It's something called puffery. This is an exaggeration, a statement that no reasonable person would take as factual. So if you create a deception that nobody reasonable person would believe, that's acceptable in the world of advertising. It's called puffery. This is harmless hyperbole. The world's best cup of coffee, the best deal in town, #1 in sex appeal. You can't prove really any of these claims. Nobody's going to really believe these at face value. Hyperbole is known as puffery. Now, puffery exists, and most of us can see through it. We all know that toy rabbits powered by a single battery will not keep going forever and ever and ever. Likewise, we know that if we drink Red Bull, we will probably not literally and actually sprout wings. No, that's not likely to happen. However, there are a number of controversial strategies and techniques that are used in advertising, techniques and strategies that raise ethical concerns. So we should talk about some of these: subliminal advertising, product placement, embedded advertising, guerrilla marketing, stealth marketing, and children's advertising. All of these forms of advertising raise critical and controversial concerns. Let's talk a little bit briefly about subliminal advertising. You've probably heard of this. Subliminal ads, you conceal the appeal so it hits the consumer's unconscious awareness to buy a product. It's a hidden message, subliminal advertising. So, before I show you a couple of examples, a warning: the following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Now, that's because a lot of the subliminal advertising appears to try to tap into our sexual instincts and desires. It seems very Freudian in nature. Okay, so here's a few examples. Look at the picture of the computer mouse. Doesn't leave too much to the imagination. Neither does the picture of the monument there. Phallic symbols are used a lot in advertising. Look at the graphic on the bottom for Skittles. Look at the word explosion. Notice the S there. I guess they're interested in a sexplosion. But these are examples. You'll find others of subliminal advertising techniques. Whether they're deceptive or not, you'll have to decide. I personally think that they are, because they're not fully honest with the consumer. Here's one that maybe is not so subliminal, that's just sexual. This is an ad for Burger King. That kind of... well, I think you get it here, okay? The big 7-incher that will blow your mind away. Okay, that's a form of advertising that people are going to find controversial. Now, more important than subliminal advertising really is the notion of product placement. When we see brands and products inserted in video games, in movies, in TV shows, and in other forms of media content. Product placement. Product placement is the process by which advertisers pay a fee in order to have their product prominently displayed in a movie, a TV show, a video game, or some other media production. Product placement. Now we see it all of the time in movies and TV shows. Product placement. Anytime you can actually identify the brand, in this case, Coca-Cola, a company is paid for that product to be placed in the content. Okay? So product placement happens quite a bit. Is it deceptive? Is it unethical? We have seen a tremendous growth of product placement over the last couple of decades. Why do so many advertisers use product placement as a marketing strategy? Because it works. You know, people are getting tired of all the in-your-face ads, all of the advertising clutter. People now use the DVR, the digital video recorder, to circumvent, to fast forward through, to skip the ads. And product placement, it works. It's a very effective marketing strategy. But is it ethical? Is it deceptive? Some consumer groups, like Commercial Alert, strongly object to the practice. They say it's an affront to basic honesty, which they claim is too common in today's society. An affront to basic honesty. Commercial Alert asks for full disclosure, full transparency of all product placement arrangements. This group argues that most product placements are deceptive and not clearly disclosed. You don't have to agree with this point of view. Now, something similar to a form of product placement is something called embedded advertising or product integration. Here you not only show the brand, but you actually insert the product into the plot line of the TV shows and the movies. The product actually becomes part of the plot line. Now, not every TV writer likes this idea. The Writers Guild of America has raised objections to this practice, that its members are forced to write ad copy disguised as storylines. The screenwriters didn't sign up necessarily to write advertising copy, and some of them object to this practice of embedded advertising. Product placement in news, I think that's especially unethical and unacceptable. News should not have any conflicts of interest at all. Product placement, does it go too far? I've seen it everywhere, and even inside of a church. Okay, it seems like we are exposed to a lot of product placement in the world today. Product placement, does it pass the TARS test? Is it truthful? Do the folks really use these products? Is it authentic? Is it respectful? Is it equitable? And is it socially responsible? You will have to make these determinations. I personally wish that there was more disclosure, honesty, and transparency. I think the simplest solution to this, and this is kind of the golden mean, Aristotle's golden mean. A simple solution might be to avoid the extremes, okay, but find a compromise, and a compromise might be disclosure, sponsorship, identification at the end of the program or the movie, making it very clear that certain companies have paid to have their products featured in the media content. Disclosure, that might be the best solution to this issue of product placement. Are you hanging in there? I hope so. Just a little bit more in this video. Next, I want to make a distinction between two forms of marketing and promotion. Guerrilla marketing versus stealth marketing. Guerrilla marketing, I feel myself, is on the whole ethical. I have big problems with stealth or undercover marketing, but let's explain what these are. Guerrilla marketing, it's just kind of unconventional marketing, a way to promote that relies more on time and energy and imagination rather than a big marketing budget. So it's some kind of gimmick that's made to draw attention. Okay, usually done in some public place. Okay, but it's some kind of stunt to draw attention, and usually it doesn't have too many major ethical concerns. In fact, sometimes it's very, very clever and effective guerrilla marketing. Now, typically, guerrilla marketing tactics are just unexpected, unconventional sorts of actions. Consumers get targeted in unexpected places, which can make the idea that's being marketed memorable. It can generate buzz and help the product or the idea spread virally sometimes. So any kind of unusual marketing technique you could call guerrilla marketing. But there's one flavor of this that does raise, I think, some real ethical concerns, and that's a practice known as undercover marketing, also known as stealth marketing. This is kind of a subset of guerrilla marketing. But in this kind of marketing, consumers do not realize that they're being marketed to. There's an incredible amount of deception. Okay, what is stealth marketing? People are paid to use or to pitch products or to endorse them on the internet and in other public settings without disclosing the fact that they're being paid to do this. Okay, they're kind of like hidden spokespeople promoting products. Now, stealth marketing. Does this pass the TARS test? Is this form of deception? Is it truthful? Is it authentic? Is it respectful? Is it equitable? Is it socially responsible? I have big problems with stealth marketing. The basic problem with stealth marketing, it's deceptive, it's intrusive, and it can take advantage of the kindness of strangers. And it could turn a family and friends into corporate spokespeople, eroding bonds of trust. So underground stealth marketing, please consider carefully the ethics involved before you use any of these tactics. Okay, I hope you're hanging in there. Just one more topic before we finish off this video, and that's the topic of children's advertising. Children really need special protection from people who would like to exploit them through advertising and marketing. You know, the average child in the United States is exposed to tens of thousands of commercials every year on television and on the internet and in the world of apps, just flooded with commercials. Millions of kids online every day, and no tool has become more important to marketers than the internet for reaching both children and adults. Now, there's a lot of issues out there: childhood obesity, precocious sexual experimentation, drug use, eating disorders. All of these problem areas have been linked to advertising targeted at children. Well, at least that's what the American Academy of Pediatrics says. A lot of social problems that might be related to advertising. We see these problems around us every single day. Now, the American Academy of Pediatrics, a group of experts that focuses in on the health of young people, says the following: young children younger than 8 are cognitively and psychologically defenseless against advertising. They do not understand the notion of intent to sell and frequently accept advertising claims at face value. In other words, young people are vulnerable, defenseless in many ways against advertising, and so maybe young people deserve special protections. Critics say marketing exploits children's developmental vulnerability. Okay. Critics say some of the advertising and marketing aimed at children really manipulates children's desires to be cool and part of the in crowd. That such advertising can undermine their sense of intrinsic self-worth. That advertising often pits children against adults in general and parents in particular. That advertising offers a worldview where the dominant values are immediate self-gratification and the overriding importance of wealth and possessions. In other words, greed, materialism are promoted to children through advertising. So those are just some of the issues, concerns in the world of advertising, product placement, guerrilla marketing, stealth marketing, and issues involving children's advertising. I hope that you continue to practice all those safety measures and to take care of yourself as we continue to deal with the coronavirus and the other critical happenings in our society right now. Take care of yourself. Try and stay focused on your academics, and I will see you soon. So long.